The head of black voter initiatives at the White House and for the Trump campaign, Jared Kushner, stepped in it a little bit on Fox News, saying a little bit of the quiet part out loud. Let's take a listen.
Thing we've seen in a lot of the black community, which is mostly Democrat, is that President Trump's policies are the policies that can help people break out of the problems that they're complaining about, but he can't want them to be successful more than they want to be successful.
Oh my God.
That's Jared's pitch on why more black voters are not coming over to the Republican
Party.
Very
Romney 47%-esque.
Not only that, it is just a clear example of the idiocy through which the administration has pursued this. They're like, Joe Biden wrote the 1994 crime bill, but we're pro-cop. And I'm like, well, which is it? You know,
right.
And I'm like, are you for criminal justice reform?
Was he too tough on crime
Exactly.
or not tough enough?
And
You're the reformers,
there
he's
is
the reformer.
not a Trump base member out there who voted for the president for criminal justice reform. And Jared sold the plan that criminal justice reform would lead to more black votes. Oh, looks like it will be roughly the same as it was in 2016. I don't think it has anything to do with it. And even if you look at why black voters are coming over to Trump in the rare instances that they actually are, what are they coming over for? Trade policy, economic matters, cultural values, the same things that animate all of us. It's always been such a pandering way in order to talk to the black community, which doesn't work, number one, and is insulting. It's an elitist view.
Completely filled with contempt.
Yeah.
Completely filled with contempt. I mean, think about the gall of here we are in the middle of a pandemic, where the economy has collapsed and your guy, Donald Trump, has been doing next to nothing to get a stimulus check and help in the hands of people who are hardworking and did nothing wrong. And you're gonna have the nerve to do this, like pull yourself by the bootstraps and you gotta wanna work hard, you can't have Trump wanting to work harder than they wanna work crap. It's so disgusting and despicable. And it ties into something else that we were both looking at, which is, look, what is almost always the largest coalition in America is non-voters.
Yes.
People who are disgusted with all of these people and they stay home. Why? Because their lives are really challenging and neither one of these political parties has really done anything to change the game for them. The New York Times has a new piece on non-voters. They're disproportionately poor, working class, and people of color. And it's really interesting because I think the caricature here is that these are people who are just, they're stupid, they don't care, they're not paying attention, they're not invested. No, they interviewed a number of individuals who were deeply engaged and had made a very conscious choice not to vote. They say basically look, yeah, I would vote if the right person came along, but neither of these people is offering me anything that is going to actually change my life. They interview a woman named Ms. Frederick. She works 2 jobs at a hotel, a department store, doesn't trust either of the 2 main political parties because nothing in her 31 years of life has led her to believe that she could. She says they abandon voters like a bad mom or dad who promises to come and see you, and I'm sitting outside with my bags packed and they never show up. And the kind of contempt that you get from people like Jared Kushner sure does not help the matter.
Yeah, I mean, you read that and you see, what I love about it is that there's always a caricature of non-voters as if they're like stupid rubes. It's like, no, they actually keep up with the news. They just consciously make the decision not to stay home because they're like, if you're not going to do something that materially benefits my life, I'm not going to vote for you. And people just can't get that through their head, that they see you very clearly. They see exactly what you're for and what you're not for. And what you're not for is something that's going to benefit them. And if the party system is locked within that dynamic, they're just not going to come out and vote.
Yeah.
You can't blame them for doing that.
No.
That's how and that's all, of course, trickles down to the lowest income and the most vulnerable amongst us in our society.
Always.
And you just see the Jared Kushner thing. I've been hearing this crap from Republican strategists for a long time. They're like, well, if we just cut their taxes, they'll come over and vote for us. I'm like, yeah, how's that working out? Or maybe you do something to benefit their lives. And, of course, tax cuts very rarely do that in many certain circumstances, and they just never get it through their heads.
What Kushner is doing there is vote shaming.
Yeah,
I mean, it's saying basically we've done everything we need to do to earn your vote. And if you don't vote for us, it's just because you're too stupid or too lazy or too whatever to see the light and understand that Donald Trump and the Republican Party is really amazing for you, which is, I mean, elites across both parties do this all the time. It's never about them. It's never about their failures. It's always on the poor, stupid voters who just don't see how great these two political parties really are for them.
It reminds me, there's these two rappers that came out recently who endorsed Trump for his tax policy, and everyone's like, see, like, this actually works. I'm like, yeah, does it, folks? Or do rich people vote for people who are going to cut their taxes? You know? Maybe
Was
that
this 50 Cent?
50 Cent, I can't remember the other one. Something Lil Pump.
But then I think he
probably
reversed.
said that wrong. Y'all make
I don't know. But yeah, it was very much like
Yeah.
class allyship.
Yeah.
That's what that
There you
looks
go.
like.
Yeah, it's like when Jenna Jameson was like, I'm voting for Mitt Romney because of his tax policy. And everyone was like, well, like, do you want the vote? You know, taxes.
I don't even remember that.
All right.
Tomorrow on Rising, community activist and executive director of People's Action, George Gull is going to discuss why voters prefer Biden over Trump to handle the pandemic. Plus, the Trump campaign is going to give us a status report a week outside of the election.
I feel like I always read the Trump campaign. Anyway, remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos. And don't forget to like and share as well. Make sure that you watch our election night coverage on the Tuesday, November 3rd, starting at 9 p.m. We're going to have the latest results and analysis. Hill reporters, they're going to be here. Battleground reporters, everybody. Stellar panel. Kyle Kondik, Ryan Grimm, so many others, friends of the show, to give their perspectives. You guys do not want to miss it. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will see you all tomorrow.
Have a great day, guys.